Hi, I'm Stuart Spector, and we're here at Spector Musical Instruments on the Musician Network.
We're here with a very good friend, Mr. Stuart Spector at Spector Bass in Saugerties, New York. Stuart, thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about this machine that you have here.
Sure, my pleasure. We're standing in front of what's a new piece of equipment for us. The machine is a Fidal 4020 vertical machining center, an incredibly precise machine that by computer control is able to cut all types of materials. It's really designed to cut hardened stainless steel, so wood is sort of like going through butter for it. This machine weighs 11,000 pounds, and right now you can see it is carving a 5-string bass neck. And what it's doing is it's running up and down the length of the neck, and every time it goes down the length, it shifts over about a 32nd of an inch and makes another pass down it. And in that process, it's carving the shape of the neck and the shape of the heel and the throat of the neck in a very, very precise fashion. We still run pin routers and shapers, and there's still a huge amount of handwork that'll go into the final product. But this is simplifying a lot of the cutting operations for us. Basically, in the past, we would have to have run this on 3 different machines, and it would have taken a total of about an hour and a half. And now this will do it much more precisely in a total of about 17 minutes. And then at that point, we'll take scrapers and different sanding materials and go into all the handwork that has to happen to finish out the neck to where we're ready to proceed with it. So it really enables us to spend more time and effort with the handwork, but really get a high level of productivity and precision. The software that's driving this machine is a combination of Rhino software, where I draw the neck or the body in 3D on the computer, and then there's a component called Rhino Cam, which translates that drawing into tool paths after I give it the information about the type of cutter that it's going to use and how fast we want the cutter to turn and how fast we want it to travel. And it's just an incredible, wonderfully user-friendly software that I'm having way too much fun with. Tim is over here doing some of the many hours of hand sanding that goes into finishing out instruments. This is a bolt-on bass body that he's working on. Okay, this one has a beautiful quilted maple top with a mahogany back, and this is a 6-string bass body. You can see the width of the pocket. It's already routed out, obviously, for the pickups and the bridge and control compartment. And there's just, a lot of the detail of what makes fine instruments is the sort of hand sanding that Tim is doing to really chase all the corners and the little telltale scratches and stuff like that. Here's a 6-string bolt-on bass body also with a Buckeye burl top. We'll show you some in the finishing area in a little while. This is in its unfinished state. You can see the incredible patterns in the wood, which is caused by actually a type of mold that grows in the wood while it still has moisture in it. This is from the sort of the stump section of the tree. It's pretty amazing looking stuff. Also backed on mahogany. Bolt-on bass necks, which are in process, and neck through the body bass necks also, which are starting to go through the production process. See, these don't even have frets in them. Some of these have inlays already in the fingerboards. This is the fingerboard sanding machine setup, and he's getting the neck straight as possible before the process starts, and it'll go over to that next sanding machine when he's ready, and it'll be sanded on to curvature. So the swing here sits into these holders. There you go. The swing is at the radius of the fingerboard, so as it slides back and forth, it'll be sanding the radius that we have machined into the top of the fingerboard and that we use to press the frets in. This machine is made by a company that's located right outside the gates of where the old Fender factory used to be. I believe the company's called Merlin, and they made a lot of the tooling for Fender and still make this sort of equipment for anybody in the guitar industry that's interested in it. We've got a little gizmo here, which I'll hand to Bill in if you're ready for this, but here's a gauge with a dial indicator that can be used to check the thickness of the fingerboard, see exactly where we're at. You have to be able to control that very accurately because we have string nuts that are machined out of brass, and we want to be sure that we're very close to the final thickness.